This one's a shocker. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm gonna get into this now, because I have an idea of what I want to build, and I wanted to do it just a little bit, just to chill out, so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna start with, like, the elbows and everything, just because I find that kind of easy. Right, so... just trying to pick, like, the under armor here, because I've been messing around a lot recently and trying to see what will work and what won't. That one's probably the best for, like, just putting stuff on top of. I figure I'll do this sort of setup. That's roughly about how I want it, so we can just adjust, mess around, see what's going on. This is one build that I've wanted to do for a while, but just not got round to, so hopefully everything will be good. I figure I'd do that there, and then it's blue axis for, yeah. Okay, so if I roughly do it like that, then what I can do is I can make your usual Gundam style elbow, roughly, out of a couple of components or armors here, depending on which ones I want to choose. Normally it's this one. This one's just my favorite. So we'll just go down here and rotate this and see where this actually works. The idea for this is to get this entire section set up just how I want, so it looks pretty much like a one-to-one recreation, maybe. We'll try and just bring this out this way a little bit. And that'll fill in that gap for the most part. Hey Crimson, how you doing? I'm gonna copy B to C here. It's nice seeing people around. Oh. Here we go. Right now, the reason why I do this is just because it looks kind of similar, right? So we can throw this down, put this about here, and then what we'll do is we'll keep it like that, but we'll just need to make the other one slightly bigger and this one slightly taller, just there, roughly. Could be better, but nothing affecting me and my family directly related. Ah. Hopefully nothing bad, but can't stress over it. Yeah, I get you. It's a case of wait and see. Whatever it is, I just hope you're alright, man. You know. Okay, there we go. That might need to be just pushed up a little bit. I'll explain DMs if you want. I'm not gonna pry. I never, like, I try not prying into people's business if possible. You know. So we'll just see, you know. For this. Gonna go gunmetal. Oh yeah. Yeah, I get you. The reason why I don't try and pry into other people's business mainly is because I just think it's polite, no. Like, I always give people the option of, like, not telling me stuff just so that they feel comfortable. Oh, dude, I need that slightly pushed out there. So this is meant to be like your traditional Gundam style joint kinda, you know, from like UC era for the elbow. It's kind of working, kind of not at the moment. I've done stuff like this before and it has worked, so I'm just gonna have to see where it goes. Round 2 in Mass Builder. Hey Classic, how you doing? I'm just trying to make some new stuff. I've not really spoiled it by saying like what I'm gonna build yet, but the idea is to try and do some Gundam builds again, just see, like, because obviously with my hands messed up, this is kind of like a good thing for me. Gets me back into doing stuff, so that's the same, okay. Glad to see everybody popping in though, it's very nice. Like chilling out with people. Dealing with an awkward situation here where I have like some extra detail that I want in. And it would kind of fit in the back here. The only problem is I'm not so sure I want to use it, because like if I do that with like 50 on there, the idea is that I wanted to put it kind of, let's just center it there for a sec, right? The idea is to kind of have it like that and then rotate it. Oh, on a side note, I saw the most AI Gundam of all time. Don't mind that if you heard any banging in the background. Jen just dropped something upstairs. I have no clue what it is. I'll have to find out now. Right, let's bring this up. The idea is for the that bit to kind of fill in the detail there. I've never really done this before, so this is interesting. The idea is to kind of try and fill in that as much as possible. Nah, it's not working. That's fine. A little bit of an experiment. Didn't work out, so. An amalgamation of the H1, X0, and RX-78. Oh, God. Right, let's go here. The idea is to kind of build around this knee joint, if I can. And try and block it in so it's very simplistic looking. Because I always do simplistic builds in this game. Or at least I'm known for simplistic builds. To the point where people actually don't like it. Like, I've had people, like, trying to competitively build against me before in this, and literally the whole thing was just like, dude, I don't like the fact that you can put out like tons of builds. Meanwhile, I'm just sat here enjoying myself. You know, so it's been kind of crazy hearing stuff like that in the past. Yeah, Jen, I can grab you a snack, hang on. let's just rotate this. Go about there. I'll get that snack for Jen now. Just a moment. Okay. And we're back. We're back. Don't mind the Deltarune soundtrack in the background either. It's fine. It's no big deal. See if this works now. If I bring that blue axis out and go up on the red. That's not too bad. The idea is to try and like block in the top, you know, so it looks decent. Hang on. Like if I try to remember like how I set this up previously, let's see. If I move these joints at the moment, how are we looking? Okay, that isn't too bad. Okay. What I'm looking for is like how it bends and how it shows off. That's going to be covered up, hopefully. I'm just gonna double check how I did it on the RX-78 for a laugh. Oh, I might have done it a slightly different way, a more simplistic way. Yeah, I have. You can see it there. If I get rid of all of the leg armor, and then get rid of that there. Oh, dude, that's so much easier. Did I carry that through to the other build? Hang on. I love that I've just got like one leg missing there for the moment. It's fine. Did I do that with riders, actually? Oh, I think with the riders, unsurprisingly, I can't find the image. Yeah, did I do that with the riders? Yeah, I did. You can see how I've kind of used the same tactic there. Okay, I'm gonna take... Where's the Pale Rider? There was a test type for the Pale Rider. I'm gonna take that and see about what's going on with that. was it? Backup Pale Rider. VG. There we go. Tutorial suit. Right. Let's clear everything off of that leg, including the external. There you go. So the knee is made up of 3 parts. 2 like that come just up to the top, and then one of those. I was trying to remember what it was. Now that I know, I can work with that. That moment where I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, what did I used to do here? And it's like, oh, okay. Right, so for the elbows, I might need to redo the elbows again a little bit. Like, where's... That's fine. The elbow covers need to be redone, and that bit needs to be redefined. That needs to be redone. It's all good. This bit needs to come down. It needs to be less that way, but more this way. About there. I have a feeling the reason why that was set up the way that it is to try and keep it as thin as possible there. But then if I get rid of the knee armor, it's probably done to cover up, yeah, that front plate there. And then the other 2 are literally just simplistic blocks, which is actually a really, really neat idea. Might be those. Like, get that there. Might actually be good having it that way, to be fair. And then you just rotate it inwards. Rotate it inwards, slide it up into position. And then... It's been a while since I've done anything like this, so you'll have to, like, bear with me a little bit. Okay, so if I do that, then rotate down, the reason why is just to kind of get that nice sort of cover on the back. And then the idea is to go about halfway so that it's kind of like the actual kit where it looks like it splits down the center. And then we just mirror C, so we mirror B there on the axis like that. And if I just mirror that for a moment, I gotta drop. Take care. Thank you very much, Crimson. Let's see how that looks if I take that in the photograph. There we go. So now it covers up all of that and looks kind of fine. And all I need to do is throw some armor over the top of it. But it won't look too bad. Same with like the elbows. We can get away with doing something like that. And then we can just adjust that. Oh. Oh, actually. Might be better that way, primarily because of the shape, right? And then we can just... Oh. Let's do that. And then go back. And see how this works Again, it's got to be simplified like the other one. The idea is to try and move this in such a way where it's very minimal with how it affects things, but it just works. That's not looking too bad for an arm joint. Because again, I can just adjust things and also, so if I put it to about there, that might work better. And then I can also play around with other stuff if I need to, like the elbow. Not too sure about that rotation now, because it kind of covered up the, that section there. Let's try that. Right? And then for the upper, normally I'll have something like this. And I'll put that over like here. The reason why is because it works as a hand cover, or rather a wrist cover. Right? Normally. Make that bigger. We'll push that down. About there, maybe? Because this is kind of simple, we can take that. And again, this is going to be pretty much how I do this. Just do that. Need to rotate that a bit and move it on the green, move it on the grey, the blue, sorry. I'm tripping. About there. And then we'll do the same with that. We'll copy B. And then we'll adjust the model around. Let's see. I could always do that. That would work, but let's see if I can just rotate it. Push it down like that. And then we'll see if I can just line this up. Right, then, that isn't too bad, it's just the arm cover then that needs to be repositioned, or at least edited in a certain way to look better. That's probably a little bit better, and then we can just trying to get this just about right. Up late, I just noticed, Moody, though it's lunchtime here. It's here it's literally 5:30 in the evening, which isn't too bad. I take A there and just like bring A out a little bit. Because the idea is to make it so that I can see the UC era style joints on both sides. Like that. So then we just go BAM. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's been a while since I've built a frame from scratch for UC era, so we'll even go into the hand plate and I think maybe cover that up. Because even though it looks okay, I feel like maybe I could get away with doing something like this. You know, if I move that up a little bit. Right? And then we just go like that. Ah, that doesn't look good because of the scaling. Ah, I see why. Tried that. Oh. Hey, Damon. I woke up and just saw this title. How you doing, man? Trying to... That doesn't seem too bad. That actually doesn't seem too bad. I say that. I'm trying to convince myself. I can't remember how I used to do hand covers. Whether it was like this or whether I just left them as default. I think I might have left them as default. Happy days. Let's... Yeah. Not so sure. Let's take the armor off. Okay, I swear I actually didn't do hand covers ages ago, but I'll take it. No, I don't mind this the way that it is at the moment, so we'll just... Use one of the round panels. Nah, it's a UC era style one, you know, so I've gotta try and copy it as best I can. It's like with this here, this is all kinds of crazy, but at least it works now. So I've got to do, where's the reference? Okay, right. I need to put one of the cylindrical pieces in the way there. About there. The idea being, I love this because it's going to show off like every single little trick in my book, basically, but it's no big deal. Everybody's basically stopped playing this game now who cared about it, so... Mass build it, yeah. My red frame is still like one of the best, I think, because I don't think anybody really tried after it. I'd seen a couple of people, like I'm not trying to gloat, but I'd seen a couple of people try and not get as good, so... But yeah, because of my hands and everything, I just figured I'd go back to it, you know, to try and just have a little bit of fun. Let's try making that about 75. And that about 75. Plus, I get to have a chat with you guys while I'm doing stuff, so... Okay, that doesn't seem too bad. Definitely think the B and C parts need to be mirrored, though. Or at least adjusted to be... Oh, crap. Hang on. There we go. I feel like adjusting them that way will be better than the other way, just because of the way that it looks. Because if I do like C, and I align that and mirror B on it, the idea being that it creates that seam line down the center, and then we can cover the seam line up by just moving it. Where is it? I do that to about there, and then bring it out. Just a little bit to try and cover that, right? I'm gonna do mirror C. There we go. That's kind of... It looks better than that one. I know, the whole idea is you kind of try and keep with the same stuff that made the model kits good. And then, you know, emulate that. Let me try and push that up to cover that knee there. Right, and then we can go ahead and take all of this, select style. And then we can just, bam. The necks I normally don't do, so we'll just throw that as that. Right, with the leg, I'm gonna start out with the base one, I think, here. If we put the armor on top, then I can try and disguise it. That one's a thinner one, so I think I'm gonna go for the thinner leg. Like, the armor is just better in terms of a choice. Let's see about the upper arm. Okay, so the upper arm is standard UC as well. Although, the lower arm is interesting because it's actually longer. Hang on. I just noticed it's longer arms all the way down. By the way, Damon, thank you for posting the the stuff the other day that involved me ending up investing more in bodysuit stocks. I'm having a laugh with that at the moment. I had a laugh with Jen saying she's going to get sick of me doing it at some point. It's like when I came back from the store and was like, check this out, and just posted like an image of it, and I then posted the follow-up saying like, dude, you literally just could be like, not again, or something. That was funny. Yeah, let's do that. Neck. Raise the neck a little bit, yeah. See how this goes? Don't want it to be too squat. I don't believe I ever changed this, but let's see. Dem hips. Let's just see if that works, because I need to make the arms longer, apparently. If I take A, move A all the way up, apparently. Like, I'm only going to try this for a little bit, just to see how far I get with it, you know, the overall build. The idea is to kind of have it be like that, and then B and C need to be adjusted from what I've just seen. So they need to actually be a lot longer, like that. Which, that doesn't look too bad, but B itself needs to be slightly thicker outwards. Like that. The problem is, by doing that, you run the risk of having a slight mess up on how the model fits. So that's going to be... Oh, the only other thing I could do would be push that up there, bring it out slightly, push it down just a little bit, and then fill in those gaps. Like, hang on. If I do that now, right? And push that out. That keeps the kind of detail I was going for. But I'm going to have to push A down. Because A has this thing where, like, on the actual reference, it kind of sits in the arm like this. If I can just do that, that's not too bad. And then we can just essentially bring the, is it that one? No. That one. I can bring the wrist in slightly. Like that. And then mirror. And that should be fine. And then the upper arm is very similar. Where we do another similar placement of limb cover E02, I think it is. And then we're going to use that to cover up here. I just need to... I figure we start with the front first. Because I can build the front the way that I want it. And then build the back off that. So we need to drag that into position roughly about there. And then we bring that in as far as we can to about there. Maybe I straighten it up a little bit more. And then we bring the sides in. Yeah, I don't believe I've actually shown builds off, like stream builds for ages, primarily because of me wanting to keep everything secret. But now I kind of don't need to. You know, because of this game almost being dead. No, it's all fair game now, you know. Easy 8? No, it's not the easy 8. I did the easy 8 ages ago. Let's try this. Oh, no. Let's try doing that. How you doing anyway, Young? Let's bring that down. I like the way that that looks there, because that covers up that, and then we can just... Tired, hope you're alright either way. I think those arms look kind of spindly. If I like bring out the back a little bit. Kind of match the thickness of the forearm. Like there. I might even make it so that the front is actually thicker than the back. Like that, right? And then we just... do that. That's not actually too bad. Provided that the shoulders match up pretty nicely. Right, now let's do a test fit. And by that what I mean is, like, let's see it, how it moves in various different poses. Oh, that's actually looking pretty nice there. Let's try. A lot of this is like just literally playing around and seeing what works, what doesn't. I like being able to have joints that move pretty nicely and kind of emulate the simple style, you know. Like, 'cause I'd argue and say I was known for just having a very simplistic style. And again, I mentioned this before, where it's like, people got upset at me because I was building, like, non-stop, like, a couple of builds per day in this simple style. But I've mentioned it in the past, like, it just worked for me because it meant I had plenty of time to do my own thing and also enjoy the game. And also throw out my my usual shtick, which was, if I can make the game look like a Gundam game, then I'm pretty happy. You know, so I just found it funny how people would get upset that I'm doing these simplistic builds and enjoying myself. Normally I'd start with the head unit, but because of it being a Fedi UC suit, you know, it's like I figured I'd build the limbs first, because the limbs aren't too bad. Let's do the feet. So with the feet, they should be pretty easy, because M.A.S. Builder has specific armor for the feet, especially the toes and stuff. If I remember rightly, it was like in the armor section or something like that. It was around here somewhere, because I remember it's just been so long. It's been so long. That's the only problem when you like haven't been on a game in like a good couple of years, and then you're just looking for stuff and you're just like, dude, where the hell did I put this again? Here we go. So, okay, so that'll work if I use maybe that one, and then I just have to do like another toe, basically. Right, so we just need... The reason why I've got like the inner frame under it isn't specifically just to have inner frame, but it's more to get the scaling and ease of placement. You know, because I could just place like a block and be done, but having the scale kind of match the inner frame or be a little bit bigger than is pretty nice in terms of like planning. Gives me kind of a clear idea of what I should be going for. Like this now, this just needs to be like that. And then needs to be slightly higher on the Z-axis and slightly more like that. Then we'll bring it up on the blue. Make it slightly wider. See about actually changing that to one of the other ones. That one might work. Or that one's a bit too flat. Try that one, and then we bring that in. About there, maybe? Bring that one down a tad bit. And then we go... I'll check chat in a moment as well. I reckon about the... based off the artwork. Let's see. Hey, chat's all good. Hope everyone's doing okay today, by the way. And then we've got this last piece on the toe, which is very weird. Let's see. See if I can, like, get any other part that makes that up first before I go ahead and go really weird with it. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Can probably use that, except that it doesn't come out in a point. That does, though. That kind of emulates the same one. If I was to, like, put that there, and then essentially just blah. Right? And then we kind of do this. Change the yaw. The idea is to try and hide this inside the foot now and see whether this works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but... yeah, that's not going to work that way. The idea is to have it emulate that kind of like point that the toe has. Let's see. Could kind of use that. Kinda. If I do that, bring that back in. And have it be like that and then squish it. The only problem is like trying to get it to just work just right. Because I gotta put it there, right? Roughly. And then I'm gonna have to bring the other foot in to make that work. What happens if I get rid of the inner armor there? Oh, no, that's not getting rid of the inner armor. Oh, what? Did I just get rid of that? Yeah, I did. Huh. Yeah, no, that doesn't look as good as I thought it would. It has to be one of those two. That one because it's longer. And then we raise that. Ooh. Let's try. The problem is it has to stick out from the foot. But the extra detail on that one is not working. Like, if I could just do something like that again, and then just have that be, like, squished in, The only problem is when I make it like that, it's not gonna work. This is looking great. Maybe you get me inspired into playing Mass Builder. It'd be interesting to see, like, what happens, especially because of me rolling back, you know? So I do like the idea of rolling back so I can make builds viable. Because I don't just like making builds. The important thing for me in Mass Builder was having builds where you can feel the fun of playing a mecha game, and by that what I mean is, like, you can take it, build it, and then use it in battle, you know? That was always the fun part for me. And then when they nerfed that, that's kind of when I just fell off real hard. It's like, dude, I can't play this anymore, you know? Which sucked. Let's see. Trying to get this last section is really awkward. The only other thing I can think of doing would be use 2 parts instead of 1, because I've got that like there, right? The idea is potentially to have that be lined up in such a way. Ooh. Where? Oh. Dude, what the heck are we even doing here? You do not want to hear that from somebody who's building, but the idea is that, like, you drop that down, and then it needs to go literally, like, right there, more or less. The only problem is the silhouette. Like, the silhouette is all kinds of wrong. I'd have to take that into account and maybe do it kind of like that a little bit. And then if I did that, that might work, but it'd be really rough. That wouldn't work. It'd have to be this is how it is. Just trying to see, like, what shapes would and wouldn't work. Nah. If I threw that in like that, that would kind of match up a little bit. Unless, hang on. Oh, well, that's actually looking. Oh, it's that bit there. It just needs to be. Trying to get this just right. Right, can I just take that and push... Oh! Push that out a little bit. And then we go... I'm gonna have to, like, really mess around with that in the center, but that doesn't look too bad if I do that and then copy B to C. The problem is the size of the damn thing. What's the paint like for that? Okay. It's rough getting that just right. Hang on. Because I don't want it to be so far forwards, you see, but I also want it to kind of match up. I feel like that might work. And then, like the rest of the foot. Nah, there's something about that that's throwing me off, you know, the double toe. It's like, yeah, nah, it's not working. Maybe I just simplify it by having the foot cover here just be slightly elongated. Hang on. That's not gonna work. Because that works there. It's the only problem when you build simple is like, you get really annoyed by something just not looking right just by a little bit. Let's try that. And then try adding one of the other feet covers on top and seeing whether I can play with it. Even if it's something like that. If I like copy A to B. And then do this and then try and move that in. Right, if I try that. No, let's try. So I'm trying to take the upper bit. Like play with that, but not have the rest of it be visible. You know, like this bit. I want this bit to kind of flow together. Just not the rest. Problem is if I start messing around with stuff like horizontally like this, not gonna work. Not too much anyway. Let's try. I feel like I'm getting close to my my solution though by playing around like this. That actually does look pretty close to the line art. The problem then is the lower bit here, A. Probably have to adjust that to be like that somehow. That actually doesn't look too bad. It's not exactly the same. The only other way I can think of doing that would literally be a couple of other parts. Because, like, if I do that, right? Actually, if I keep that for the moment, I can build over the top of it. Like, the only other thing I can think of is literally taking, like, one of these and building over the top of it. So, like, that or something. Let's see. Trying to have a look. Maybe even something like that. It's like I'm after a shape that looks pretty much. Let's see. Kind of like that. No. So look at that looks like. Like, I'll go for anything that looks kind of similar at the moment. Just so hard to get the damn thing looking okay. Oh. Maybe that. If I was to... place that like there. And then mess around with the pitch, the yaw and everything. Right? And just kind of do something like this to the point where it's only out a little bit. Let's try that. And then we merge that back in with the rest of the foot here. If I then bring that to about there. Ooh. Bring that in. To about there. Push the scaling of that out. So it covers that area. I know that looks a little bit rough, but I'm trying my best here. That's an acceptable problem that I'm gonna have to look into in a moment. Is this toe here that's, or at least that bit of the toe that's the. I figure like I do that, and then maybe I do like C to D, and see what that looks like. If I can just push that, like, in such a way that it's okay and not looking so jank. And then I take B out of the equation. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I meant A. I take B. And bring B down just a little bit so you can see that difference in height. Take C. Oh, no. Not too sure that solution was okay here. Mecha toes. Notch looks like a giant. I don't know, man. I'm not so keen on it, you know. That's the problem with this. Like you can just like play around with certain bits forever and not be happy, especially like with me trying to do stuff simply. Like that bit just looks like the easiest way to fix it. And just have it be the opposite way around. Because the bottom bit is meant to be wider like this. And the upper is meant to be thinner like that. Oh. But it doesn't quite work in this build. Which is why it sucks a little bit. Like, I could leave it like that, but then it'd just look weird and jank, so... It's really off-putting. The stuff I do here to make kind of okay builds. It's the same with like the back here now, because the back is pretty much just like that piece of armor. Just only that piece of armor, and then we just throw it there. Just go boom. And then we just do it. Right? And then we just heavily squish that. Just because it's easy. Because again, I'm not in this for doing like super complex builds. I'm only in it for having the fun and trying to make stuff that looks similar, so... If I do like that, bring that in and then just go blue. Just a little bit. And then take away the Under Armour. As long as that's covered up everything. Or almost everything, because I can see that part there. That kind of looks okay. Let's try this. Gotta go photo mode here now. It doesn't look too bad. Okay. Try Q. I like that pose because it just It bends enough at the arm, and that one for the legs. Ooh. Okay. Let's try the legs here. Meanwhile, I'm gonna throw this all the way back to the beginning of the music. Get my reference up here. And then the main part that's going to be a problem for this is literally the back of the thighs. I think. It always is. Well, the back and sides. I'm trying to remember where there it is. So I think we can kind of use that to cover it up. I think. Could be wrong. Guess we'll try and see what happens. I might have to try another trick here, but we'll see. Because the idea is to cover up that section there, the one that's showing off the leg the most. Like that. Ooh. Let's keep that there, and then we just go, ooh, no. Reason for trying to keep that as it is there is because of the way that it looks in terms of the overall shape and stuff. So, like, we try and keep that as much as possible, and then I'm gonna try and like layer armor parts over the top of this now to make it work, and then take away the under armor. So, like, for this now, this is probably gonna be some of this. Maybe that one. That one looks like it kind of works straight out the gate, but I know that one would as well. So let's see about adjustments here. Okay, that might work for the lower, for like here. Let's see how this works. Nah, that's not gonna work. It's gonna have to be something more square like that. Or even that. Okay, and then bring it out in the blue. Down in the red. Gets me annoyed when I try and build and it's just not kind of working out the way I want. Try about there, and then blue. I'm gonna have to potentially do another one there. If I bring that in at the sides, I'm gonna have to do another one that wraps around there as well. And it also goes to the knee joint. I've just seen the extra bit for the knee. Let's try, let's see. Let's try an actual normal one of those and see whether I can just like layer on top and see what happens. Ah, that actually might work. Looking at it, I'm like, it looks like it might work if I put a bit more effort in. Because if I layer that like that, drag that up, it's not looking too bad at the moment, and then we can just push that back so it matches there. Right, we can roll that up a little bit. Try and make that so it doesn't completely go crazy. Might even be able to get away with just about there. Ooh, come on now. The problem is if I throw this too far through the build, what I'm gonna end up with is flickering in engine. I don't want flickering. You know, like Z-Fi thing. It's a pain to deal with. Let's see about this. If I move that in slightly, ever so slightly, and that down, and that kind of works there. I just need to bring in, and then, okay, that's not actually too bad. I'm actually enjoying that. That works for me. He's going the deep end again. Mine's doing alright at the moment. I've got a VR streaming a little bit with Happy. I'm just trying to see if I can just about, because my hands are screwed. I can't do anything for any of the other people that I'm meant to be working for at the moment either, so that sucks. I'm kind of just trying to enjoy my time while I can, you know. Oh, trying to see. I go up there. And then... oh, come on now. I push that back there. I'm trying to just, like, if I go a couple in here, I'm trying to see, like, how much this clips through each other, you know? Because I figure having a double kind of, like, line there isn't too bad. And then at the back, it's kind of the same. Oh, Creeper's talking to me. I love that. I'm like, wait, what's going on? All I get is a message that just says swouse. I'm just like, okay. Wish I had some control for Blender. I've seen a file mod for the game for a while back using Blender. Don't know if it's still out there. Oh, interesting. Oh. Let's see about this, right? If I throw that there, and I just go bleh. Throw it all out, make it as big as possible, and then bring it back in. Am I able to make Jegan legs out of this? Because the idea is to... oh, crap. The idea is to seal that in there now, ideally. If I bring that down, right, the idea is to then go into about there. Keep that there, but then bring the that down. The thickness. Right? And then if I can just go in on green. Come on, come on. A bit more. I think I might be getting away with that. I'm not too sure. Go on green just a little bit more. Oh, hang on. Maybe that. I might need to come back in a little bit there, thickness-wise. Hang on. This is how that is. I need that to be... oh. Be more like this. Right. Oh. Come on now. I'm just like, I'm trying to trick this as much as possible to try and get it so that it looks okay. You know, because if the sides there, I'm trying not to make the sides clip. That doesn't look too bad, right? The problem will be if I take away the armor from that. So if I take away the Under Armour, then we can see what the issues are, of which if I go look at the reference, it's kind of okay, kinda. Not so sure about that though now. Maybe it needs to be a more simple version of the model, because every time I've tried using that one, it's been a bit funky. Like even doing something like that is a little bit weird. Like it does work, just doesn't look as good as I thought it would. So maybe I go ahead and use something like that. Let's see. Take my build so fast, David. I will do in a moment. Hang on. Okay, that's not working. Too small an item, especially like that or whatever. I need something like that, but round basically. But I know there's nothing for that. What about? Nope. The specialist toe part. That's not gonna work. Maybe. All these things I've done, like, in the past. And I'm like, I remember doing this. Can't remember how. And then it's like, I'm trying to do this now, and I'm like, this is just a pain. How did I do the Pale Rider one? Because, like, the Pale Rider one, is kind of similar. Hang on. Where I think I swapped out. I like that one, Damon. Right, so let's... It might be a case of taking what I did with the Pale Rider and just running with it. So let's see. Oh, I did use the legs. Okay, tutorial suit. Let's see how this worked. Armors. Okay, let's look at the right leg here and dissect how I did this. Oh, I know what it is. It's C and D. C and D. 1-3-1-6, and then the back is B. That makes sense. Also, you may hear Rachel in the background. She's having a bit of a bad time, unfortunately. Okay, so if I do... She's with Jen at the moment, so she is fine. Jen's looking after her. She went to sleep early, and now I think she's just having problems with the heat. Bless her. So if I take the right one here... Normally, the reason why I didn't used to stream this kind of stuff is because I didn't like showing my working out. But now I can, so it's not too bad. So it was that one, right? And the idea is that we slap that there and just go... And then we just roll it a little bit to about there. And then we bring that in. And then we just make that as streamlined as possible. At the potential sacrifice of a little bit of clipping. Depending. Right, so we just go... About there. So, let's try and do that. That should work out, right? And it's only got very minimal clipping, like at the front. That's fine, right? And we're still using the other base part of the armor because it fixes details and just makes it super easy. Then we do D, or rather A to be there. Fixes that in. which solves quite a lot of the problem. Then we do what we did before. We try and turn this bit at the bottom into an overlay plate that will just fix up quite a lot of that. Just boop. Away we go. And then we'll just rotate it. Bring it in, and we'll try and make it work as much as possible. It's just... go down here, and then we just bring that in. My cell isn't sending out YouTube's audio for some reason, says Sky. Ah! I'm sure alright, Sky, anyway. Right, so that there should be okay. It's just clipping through the foot slightly, right? So we can make that slightly bigger if we have to, right? And then the idea is that we can then follow that through for the knee. If I can just streamline that a little bit more. Hell, if I can do like that, that'd be real nice. Push that up to about there. The idea is to try and cover up this section as much as possible. About there, I reckon I'm going to have to go to. And then I'm going to have to work with this to make it look decent. About there. Probably to bring that slightly forwards. See if I can get this to work. Like, it's so close to working there. It's just the clipping that's doing my head in a little bit. If I can, like, position it in such a way that the clipping is kind of equal. Let me just bring it in and I try and rotate it a little bit, maybe? That's gonna have to come down. About there, rotate it. Go back in again. Let's try that. Oh, I see why. Hang on. If I do that, I need to kind of get it a similar thickness so that it kind of works out a bit better. Oh, that is so close. That's literally so close to actually working right there. Hang on. It's that little bit just there. Dude, that's actually... That's not bad, because then if I can do, Or is it the one underneath, is that? Yeah. If I can just adjust that and rotate that slightly. Then push it forwards. It's actually looking a little bit more accurate now. Hang on. Up there? I can just... That's not actually looking bad at the moment. I'm enjoying that. Oh, let's see. Metal Shadow Mario says, is this 3D modeling program? Hello! Nice to see you. This is a mech game called Mass Builder, but I specifically make Gundams in it. Because I can. For the back here... we can take this and just bring it down, scale it inwards a little bit, bring it down a little bit more. We can just work with it until it's kind of in the right place. Kind of. I'm looking at the armor and where it's situated on the artwork now. That's actually pretty accurate. Right, if I was to take that and then just include the normal bit that I have that goes round, that would actually work. So this is an old trick that I used ages ago. This trick is literally like so ancient, but it should work. Like, I'm actually happy with those legs now. I'll just check in a bit, see whether they actually clip. But like I was saying, this trick is old as time. I just need to find where the parts are, because it's a way of masking the back bit. Because I can either use one of these, which is legit, or I can use that one, because this one is a little bit easier to work with. And essentially all it does is just serve as a cover for that seam at the back, right? So we drag down, rotate slightly, so it fits. And we're just gonna... it's about there. It's about here, and then we just push in and try and fit everything next to each other. I wonder if you could build Jehuti. Yes, you could. I think people have done it before. And Anubis, if I remember rightly. So there we go. The idea is that you then... does it have the needle feet? I can't remember whether it does or doesn't. I think it does. Because I've done a similar trick to get the you know, the TR6 legs. There we go, right? And then I just need to make it look slightly rounded a little bit more, right? And then you just bring that in. About there. The idea of this, again, is that essentially you're blocking this in just so it doesn't look as bad. And then just rounding it off so it kind of fits with each other. So it blocks all that inner frame, but you've still actually got the detail of the inner frame because you kind of need it a little bit. Right? And then we need the knee joint on here. The knee joint is actually just a giant spike thing. I can try getting that now. Let's see. probably try using one of the feet things again, or I could just go hollow with the ones I've got here. Or I could try one of those ones. Would kind of work, depending. If I put that there, right? The idea is to put it roughly about here. And then have it like that, rotate. And then do that. Oh, that actually doesn't look too bad, right? The idea is to try and make it fit there, roughly. And then we just sink that into the knee there. Bring it out a little bit. Bring it up and then out. Although it looks a little bit too crazy like that. If we bring that out and try and match it up a little bit more. I need to make sure that the height and the scale thickness aren't too crazy away from each other, because if they are, then it kind of ruins it a little bit. See if I can do it with any of the other bits, because I should be able to just like go thin like that. The only problem is it doesn't look as good. Unless I try doing that and then move it in slightly like that. And then go... But then it just does not look as good. I'm gonna have to use another part. Again, this is kind of the fun thing about Mass Builder, because you can just play around with it like this, but... It just take a while. Like another thought is using that as the part. I'd either that or I build off it. Like, for instance... Actually, no, because if I build off the kneecap, it might go funny. I was thinking about it, I'm like, for instance, I could always do that, but... No, maybe that. I'll make that thinner, right? And then we just rotate that. Take that in, about there, like that. And then we just... That doesn't actually seem too far off in terms of design. And then we can just... That overall isn't too bad. Let's see what this looks like. Moody, make your own custom Gundam ideas. Oh, I did some ages ago. I did like my own crossbone Gundam. That was fun. Because that's not looking too bad now. If I just... Oh. Just mess around with this and see like how it's actually bending. It's not going too crazy there. It is actually clipping through on some of the more extreme poses. It's not crazy. I'm leaving as much detail off it as I can so that I can place it on like as extra armor parts if I need to for the different variants. That's... You'd see the extra armor under there. Just like have to make it a different color. But that's actually not too bad. Like, apart from potentially making it slightly thicker, maybe. So if I do that now... Oh crap, why did I go into weapons there? Right? If I go into, say, assemble decal, where is it? Oh, that's already... It's already painted like that. Okay. What I need to do is take all of that and make that gunmetal, right? Because that's the inner frame. Right? Same like anything else. We take that and we make it inner frame gray. Right? Same with the thigh on here. We'll do that. The reason why I didn't make it in a frame grey at the beginning was just because I didn't think I'd be messing around with it too much. But then we can do the, yeah, we can do the standard UC style legs here, which are kind of easy. I just need to move the knee bits up a little bit, because they need to stick out. So it's like, where is it? A, B, C, D. D is the one that needs to be adjusted. It needs to go literally about there and be a bit thicker. And also slightly bigger. The idea being that when you see it, it should be visible, so you know it's a UC era frame by that. So we're doing alright at the moment. Still think the legs might need to be slightly adjusted. Like, hang on. That's that one. That one. A fusion of the double X with wing 0, where you have 4 wings that double as receptor panels. Oh my god. That'd be crazy. So maybe I do this. I really try and push the bar out, because, like, I feel like the bottom of the Jegan's armor is, like, almost like flared pants a little bit, you know? I feel like if we're gonna go for it, we might as well go a bit crazy by going a bit thicker, especially because the legs generally tend to look a little bit thicker. So if I do that, I think that looks a little bit more natural than those ones. For the thighs, back to 2020. Hey Shoga, how you doing? I rolled back to a previous build. Oh, I'm not actually on the new version. I rolled back to when ranged builds were actually when the game was good. I suppose that's a pretty harsh way of putting it, but I rolled back to, you know, the 0.9.0 build when range actually melted stuff. I changed to that because I liked the fact that range and melee around about this period in time actually felt like they both kind of complemented each other a little bit. Honestly, I'm looking at, like, my old gameplay and, like, some of the new gameplay, and I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, all they needed to change this a little bit would be to literally just make the AI be slightly more aggressive, and that would be it. Like, if you look at some of the gameplay, it's so easy to just point out, like, areas where it's like, dude, the AI just needed to be a bit more aggressive, and it would have been good. You know, like, they wouldn't have needed to change much. Because I do like the arcadey feel to it, to 0.9.0. If the devs listen, maybe we could have that. It's crazy. It's why I found out about the Steam Depot downloading. Like, if you actually want the game to be back that way, you can actually do it. Like, I'd never done it before for any other game. I was like, go on, I'll just see whether I can, like, downgrade. And it's just like, yeah, it's simple. You just, like, go find the depot file. You might need to, like, log into SteamDB. I logged into SteamDB, found it by help with Damon, because Damon helped me figure out, like, which patch I felt would be as close as possible to being good, and having as much feature, or as many features without kind of going too close to the area where they started going crazy with, like, updates and different things in terms of, like, nerfs and things like that. And then once I found that one by hand, then I was like, right, I'm downloading it and seeing what would happen. I downloaded it. It took me ages to figure out, like, how to use my old save files again. But of course, me being me, I've always said to the community, like, I had all my old save files backed up because of how many Gundams I'd made. Like, over 150 suits. And then, yeah, I just went from there. I was like, right, I'm just gonna see what'll happen now, and sure enough, it works again. There's like a tad bit of a bug here and there, but that's because it's not used to playing some of the slightly newer content with slightly older saves. But 150, yeah, I had so many builds. Like, I'd have to look in my file at the moment, because the last ones that I built were the Pale Rider suits before my daughter was born. Like, literally right before my daughter was born, I built the Pale Riders. And then that was it. I didn't touch the game ever again. So I've not touched the game in like three years, maybe a bit more. Should I come back to 0.3 or 0.4 just to remember how the game was? You can actually go back further than this. You can literally go back as far as you want, provided you find the right file. Like, if you log into, like, SteamDB, you can actually, like, just go back, find the date for, like, 0.7 or 0.8, you know, when customization first came in. You can literally roll all the way back to that if you want. The only reason why I did 0.9.0 was just because, like, it had the most features. It seemed to be pretty balanced. And I'm not, like, missing too much content-wise. You know, because, like, I know there will be a bunch of people that freak out and be like, oh my god, the story! It's like, no, not many people cared for the story, no offense. No, it's... Most people just wanted to take their build and actually see it in action. And I figured that's where, like, this version of the game works the best. You can have fun, still customizing. And sure, customization's not as easy. You lose, like, a couple of parts as well, and by that I mean you lose like the Zenith armor or whatever. But you also get better gameplay, arguably, where you're not having enemies that have like super tanky shields or whatever. You know, so it's back to basically being a lot more enjoyable for the average user that wanted cosplay builds. You know, because I feel like that's what a lot of people wanted, was the ability to do cosplay as their favorite mech, and then on top of that, like, actually be able to use it in combat. You know. Let's see. Can I just bring that in a little bit here? Oh, come on. I need to just line that up there. It's funny because I actually searched myself a while back on Google AI for, like, what my influence was in the mass builder community. It was like, you are one of the most vocal, outspoken people of this game. How are you doing? I was like, I kind of left years ago, mate. And it's like, oh, sorry to hear about that. Oh, let's go this way. Let's see. I mean, the game was sold as a custom mech builder more than anything. But the bullet sponge issues, everyone hated it. Yeah, like, I'd seen, like, the bullet sponginess stuff, like, starting to happen as we were reaching 1.0. And the problem was, like, it totally took me out of it because of, like I was saying, like, my hands are screwed again. And they were when I was building originally. So, like, not being able to use range really hurts. And I mean that in, like, a, not just a, oh, it hurts as in, like, oh, boo-hoo. I mean, like, physically, I really can't play the game if it's not range. And if range isn't melting, then it's not viable for me to play. You know, so it was, the devs, if anything, took me out of the game. You know, they'd probably argue and be like, oh, you just need to restart. But, like, when I tried playing it again, it wasn't as zippy, it wasn't as fun because they'd nerfed, like, speed on flight and other things. There were so many, like, different nerfs to it where I was just like, dude, what are we doing here? I don't agree with this, you know. Like, I'm not trying to be nasty to the devs for the sake of being nasty. It's just it totally took me out of the entire game. Let's see if I can just roll this a little bit more this way. I'm trying to line this up so that it works out, and also gets rid of that there, but it's not, so I'm just gonna take it and be like, no, it's done. That doesn't look too bad for this build at the moment. Let's see. I wonder if a Gundam inspired off the Arbalest from FMP would work. Oh my god, yes. I'd seen the Arbalest made in this. It looks pretty cool. Damon says, since they nerfed Reina in the story, it has been so much worse. Dude, did we actually get to see, like, what happened with Reina? The correlation of the jiggle physics nerf. Wait, what? They... Oh. Wife wants me. While you guys are waiting and just talking in here, tell me what the nerf was, and I'll come back and check it out in a moment. Just give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. Hang on. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. How you guys doing? How we doing? I had the best moment ever. So Jen goes, can you come upstairs? I'm like, yeah, sure, that's no problem. Because Jen's upstairs with Rachel. Rachel's trying to get to sleep. And then, sure enough, I go in and Jen's like, Rachel's been calling for you here. I'm like, oh, wait, what? She's there like, yeah, she's going, daddy, daddy, daddy. So I was like, oh my god. So I go up to Rachel. I'm like, you alright, Rachel? She gives me one hell of a big hug and is like, daddy. I'm like, oh yeah. So I just stayed with her for a little bit and give her some hugs. No, she's with Jen again. She's like snuggling my arm and everything and not letting go. So I had a happy dad moment again. Oh, fun times. Love that. I would not trade that for the world. Let's see here. I am so close to, not so much finishing this, but I need to go eventually, so what I'll do is I'll try and get some easy bits done. We can go from there. So what I need to do here is possibly do the side skirts. Family always number one, so true. I just love, like, I love how much my daughter loves me. I've said that before. It's because of, you know, like, the equal attention that she gets off me and Jen. So, always fun. Yeah. I definitely feel like it's different if you have a kid that has had both parents around them than just one. Because, then they don't have to, like, basically pick who they enjoy the most, you know? I don't know whether it's easy to understand if you've not got, like, a kid or whatever, but it's definitely noticeable when you do, where it's just like, dude, seriously, this is awesome? The reason why I'm doing this here, this little detail, on the side panel, is just because I figured it worked pretty nicely, and then we can just go like that. I mean, I've said that thing multiple times as well about, like, Rachel being better off for having both me and Jen, but it's so noticeable. Warms the heart. I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. You know? I mean, you could easily pull that, yeah, well, you would enjoy it, Dave, you're a dad and everything, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I know, but, like, try to explain it to you guys, you know, in a way that's good as well. Oh. Well, that's... Time for me to go, says Sky. Catch you later. Thank you very much, Sky. I'll be on VR in a little bit. I'm just gonna finish up here, and then away we go. I figure I'd get these grenade launches done, and then I can hop on VR. And hopefully not melt. do 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 do. I absolutely love this song. And then I'm gonna need that. Are we at the end of the playlist again? That would suck if we were. No, but we're getting close. Hope everyone that's watching is actually still enjoying, by the way. But yeah, let's see. So many nerfs. Let's see. Yeah, do we know what the deal is with, like, nerfing the female characters? I think we talked about that in the last stream, but I couldn't confirm whether it happened or not. Considering I told them not to, like, multiple times, seems kind of silly that they then went ahead and did it anyway. David says, I'm good. Nice. Right, so the idea is now we've got these like grenade racks that are on the side. Those are going to be done with probably that. And then I'm just hoping, because I'm eyeballing this at the same time, I'm hoping that this is all kind of good, you know, scale-wise. I feel like that might need to do... that. Run that one because it's... Oh, whoa, what's with the... That might be why it's messed up. What's with the... looking kind of funky here? Is it because of the angle or what? Almost looks like the angle is slightly off. Now it doesn't look like the angle's off. Let's copy D to E. We just take that down and we'll put that about there. I love the way I've gone all the way down just to put that there, but it's because then we bring that back up for F. And we put that one there. That actually doesn't look too bad for a grenade rack there. I'm actually liking how this build's coming out so far, if you couldn't tell. Like, no joke, I've been kind of worried about it. It's not turning out too bad so far. Right, we got this. I need to make the backpack. There's a little trick that I used to use a while back. And essentially, it's just a quick fill up of the backpack, right? And the way that you do that is by using a couple of these parts around here. So like, for instance, that one looks like it'll work for the correct placement and stuff. So we just slap that there, right? Hide it a little bit, rotate it. And then we can bring it up, forward a little bit. And the idea is we rotate that to about there, bring it down. Because that's supposed to fill out the same kind of area in the backpack. Hang on. And then we put another thruster there that's massive. Where is it? That thruster bell there. Then I've got to push that in, so it's roughly about there. That kind of matches up with what I got at the moment. There's a cylindrical bit as well. Either side, so we're going to probably use maybe... I want to use just one of those if I can. If I can get away with it. How big is that? That's not going to make it. It's going to need to be 2. The idea is that that covers up that area a little bit. But, because it's not working, I'm going to try and see if there's anything that does work that makes it look a little bit more accurate, like that one does. Nah, I'm not liking some of these details. Let's just go in slightly with that. Copy C to D. And then we just go... Let's see. Let's say... Is this a Jegan? Yes. I literally was like, dude, I want to build a Jegan because of the simple fact of I can get tons more builds out of it, you know, if I commit to it. Took me 3 days to build the O Gundam hips off. I noticed that sometimes things happen in weird directions. Yeah, it gets crazy. The jiggles are gone for female characters. They changed the art style. They all look a little odd. Dude, you don't get rid of the jiggle. No, you don't. The jiggle was what everybody enjoyed, man. No matter what, like... That sucks. That really does suck. Jeez. I'm doing the other old tactic here. Build off the neck for the top of the backpack so you got more parts to deal with. It was a similar technique for, like... this. I'm trying not to use the same pieces. That one's that one. That one might work. Might not. Try that one. Or even that one. The idea is just that you build off of the neck. Because then you are not like having too many issues with things. And then the backpack can naturally also rotate around the neck. Just trying to figure out which way looks the best here. Hang on. Like that one kind of looks okay. If I put it there. But then that one might look a little bit better because it's more natural if I put it that way. I just need to push it there and then... Ooh, come on. And then about there. Then basically... Ooh, no, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, the idea here is that I'm building the top section of the backpack onto the neck so that when it rotates, everything rotates with it. So I do this. And then do these connecting arm things, because I want to finish up with the backpack and then go on VR. The idea is to have this thing set up pretty much like how I'm looking at it. Hang on, is that flat? No, it isn't. That's a pain. That might be. No, it isn't. Crap. Let's try from there, because I know that's flat, right? This isn't exactly what I want connection-wise, but it's as close as I can get. So then we do this. Alright. We place that roughly about there. And then everything needs to be 75 apart from the width. The width is a bit too big. It's about there. And then we bring that in and place it roughly about there. Copy B to C. You should make a carpool. Oh god. I don't really do Zeke designs just because of how hard they are, but goddamn. You know. I mentioned it ages ago, like, Zeke designs were always my nightmare on this game. Like, I absolutely hated trying to do Zeke stuff. Like, that's why I give anybody that actually pulled them off praise. Like, massive praise, because it's like, dude, seriously. You basically pulled off almost the impossible. I'm thinking I either do that for the backs of these, or try something else here, the little thruster bell things. See what I can do. Even those, but that might be a bit too much. Huh. That might work. There's a couple of these where I'm like, like that medium one might work as well. Case of how big is the part. That might not work because of how big I need it. Like, hang on. No, actually, might work. The idea is I need it to be like that. And then we rotate. Oh, crap. Wait, what? Okay. Right. We rotate ever so slightly. Right, and then we go down, back, and then thin it out just a little bit. Same with that, and then we'll just push that in there, and then we'll put D to E for the specific reason of I'll be able to actually change it for a vent. Right? So then we can go like, where is it? Vent. There were vents in here, I just need to remember where the hell they were. Armors? Where the hell are the vents? I remember them being an actual part. Where the hell? Oh, dude. I thought I was tripping then. I was like, are you kidding me? Are the vents gone? But no, we're good. Right? And then we scale that down. About there. Just realized I am without music again. Ah! Hey, Metal Wolf. How you doing? Just quickly finishing off this backpack, and then I'm gonna hop on VR. Right, so we go about there, and then I need to bring that up so it's a little bit more like that. And then we can bring that in a little bit more if we have to. Right? And then I reckon if I copy D to F, mirror that. So we go align, mirror. And then E to G. And then adjust that. Dude, that's not actually looking that bad. Like if I go back here now. This backpack looks amazing so far. So the idea, like I was saying, is it's split between the neck and the head. So as you can see there, it is moving with the head. But I've got a bit of extra detail on it. Just the little bit of like playing around with it and knowing like what you can and can't do with it. It's pretty good. But yeah, this This ain't looking too bad, considering I've not built in ages on it. I like the legs, like, obviously the legs I've spent most time on. That backpack doesn't look too bad. Those grenade launchers there don't look too bad. The arms are okay. What's going to happen now is I'm going to need to do the waist skirts and potentially build on those tiny waist skirts to make it look as though it's all cohesive around the pelvis area. The torso is not going to be too hard. The worry is going to be the head unit. The head unit's going to be complicated. The head unit takes the most time. What I will do is at least... I'll at least copy the color scheme here for this. If I take this... The shoulders are going to make it all come together, yeah. I love the way my freaking voice just like stuttered there. It's like... Right, so it's basically like a bluey turquoise green, so it's kind of like... It's a bit like this. And then it's very, very pale and desaturated. I'd say... I'm going off the unicorn one as well, so it's kind of about... What do you guys reckon about there? That's looking kind of... That's looking kind of accurate to me. The mint machine. Let's do Jegan mint for the color. Right? And then I'm just gonna quickly just do the other part. Oh wait, what? I was gonna say I'm gonna quickly do the other parts and what? For some strange reason it just didn't save the style, okay. About there? Try this again. Save. Right? You forgot you can change... Wait, what? There we go, okay. Okay, right, so then we can go... The idea is to try and get as much of this as possible in the correct colors before I go offline. So we've got... That's fine. This way I know what I'm working with. Let's see. That one and that one. Actually, no, that's fine the way that is. Grenades on the grenade racks are just great, so that's fine. I can do that. Elbows, grey. Yeah, considering I've not been on this game in a while, I will have a viable Jegan build eventually. Yeah. That one is... And then I'll be able to build multiple Jegans off this. So hopefully the idea is that eventually I'll be able to build stuff like the Blastmaster and all of the other Jegan variants. So expect a lot of Jegan from me in future. If this works. I just realized I need some other parts on the legs here. Dude, it's in the back. I might have those as extra details. I know there's one at least that I want here that carries through, and it's the vent on the side. Right? Which is like that. Because if I have the vent on the side, the thruster on the back is no big deal. that looks rough. That I can probably work with if I just do this. And then we just go, ooh. Real quick. Because the idea is I'll use armor pieces to actually make the additional thrusters and things. That way you won't actually see it because there's a thruster missing inside the leg there that I only just noticed because of the design. I didn't look around the back until like much later on. Oh. I can just put that there. And then we do... I can just quickly... take that and adjust it. That's looking alright. And then for the feet, we got the extra color here, where it's basically... that is like a darkish green. Kind of like that a little bit, but more military green. So that's... oh, crap. That's not actually looking too bad at the moment. Let's go have a look for the final. You should make the cheese master. Yeah, I'm gonna be adding like everything to make it viable. Isn't the chest hatch red? I think so. Hang on. I'm looking at the D. So I'm gonna do like different versions. Yeah, I've not even got round to the chest yet. I've literally just focused on like the limbs and everything else because I imagine the chest and all the stuff's gonna be easy compared to the head is gonna be the craziest bit. But yeah, this honestly isn't looking too bad. I like grunt suits as well. Like, if you remember when I was building on M.A.S. Builder, I built a bunch of Gundams, but I was always saying like I can't wait to see if I can unlock new builds. And by that, what I meant is like grunt suits were really hard to build, especially like gyms, because of the heads and stuff. But if you get the head right, because there's so many different variants, you essentially unlock the ability to build like a million other variants of the same suit. So I'm just hoping that I can get this done, so that essentially it allows me to build up so many other different suits. Just realized that ankle armor's still there. I don't mind it, but it's definitely noticeable. But yeah, the way of doing things like simplistically like this, it's nice. The thruster belt that's not on the inside there, that's the one that's going to be taken in and done with armor at some point. Like, by armor, I mean like the missile attachments. Yeah, this is how I used to do things in terms of like testing things and seeing whether they looked right. Like, that doesn't look too bad there. Might need to just fill in the hole there with a some sort of square piece. Although whether you see it after I put a rear skirt on is debatable. Ooh. The way that it flows quite nicely is actually really damn good, considering how awkward it is to build stuff sometimes. But yeah, this is what I was saying to people for ages, where I was just like, dude, it's nice building simplistic suits. And by that, I mean, like, with only a few parts and not going uber detailed. You know, like panel lines and everything. Because it's, what, taking me like 2 hours normally. Depending on, like, what I would do. Like, a complicated build, or rather a first build like this, where I'm not quite sure of what I'm doing. Might take like a couple of hours to flesh out and get everything down. Once this is down, if there's anything that is like a variant that comes off it, I can normally do it in like half an hour. No. So it's all good. I just need to get back into the swing of things. So I do enjoy this game. Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it being a puzzle game and trying to make things look as good as I can, like with this. It's just, again, it just kind of sucked how they did things later on. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I need to be in VR. You'll probably see a VR stream from me, so thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall see you next time when I try and finish off this build. So until then, peace out. Bye.